NFL regular season week 1 is in the books. Welcome back to In the Slant. Today we're going to overreact like we usually do as NFL fans for week 1. And then tomorrow we're going to do our week 2 predictions as well. But today we got a lot to react to on NFL week 1. I'm joined by Jared. I'm also joined by Dustin. You obviously cannot see him. He is sick as of right now, so we wanted to be safe. But he is still here. So Dustin, say hello to the people. That way they know you're here.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
He's just on a phone call for us. This is going to be the getaway. We do it this week, but next week, Dustin should be back. So, but other than that, make sure you guys drop a like on this one. Subscribe if you're new around here. Greatly appreciate it. Again, like I said, today we're reacting to week 1, and tomorrow we're going to do our week 2 predictions. Let's get right into it. Let's overreact. Thursday night football. So I had the Bills winning, and both of you, if I remember, had the Rams winning.
I had the Rams.
Yeah, I had the Rams as well.
So the Buffalo Bills and the Rams game, I would say, was very, very interesting to say the least. We all know how it ended. What is your guys' biggest takeaways from the game, other than obviously Josh Allen is winning MVP this year?
My first takeaway is I don't think Stafford looked great at all last night or Thursday night when he played against the Rams or when he played against the Bills. My fault.
No, you're good.
One of my main things is I want to bring up is Allen Robinson. I don't think he was utilized at all. Them signing a guy like him to help that team out, getting rid of Robert Woods, trading him away, and then paying him, and then not utilizing him at all. He had one target that whole night, and then he had one in garbage time, which really didn't matter at all. It was just kind of throw up in the end zone for him. But that
fantasy owners would have loved it if he caught it in the end zone.
For sure. There would have been some garbage time points for them. But other than that was one of my biggest takeaways. I didn't like that at all. The way they use that.
And to go on with that too, I'm not hating on Darrell Henderson because I do know he's a solid running back, but like with all the big hype around Cam Akers every year, the fact that like he got basically like only 3 carries that whole game for like 0 yards and did absolutely nothing for him kind of made me upset. Like just not only because I had him on my fantasy team, but also the fact that like. I mean, I think Darrell Henderson is just like the most average running back in my opinion. Like, not trying to disrespect him or anything, but I feel like Cam Akers should have easily been able to take that role.
So Jared started 1-0 in fantasy. Dustin and I both start 0-1 this week, unfortunately. But Jared escaped with the win. Russell Wilson didn't play good enough, so Jared's probably a very happy man right now. But yeah, for me, Cam Akers was not utilized enough. Allen Robinson not utilized enough. Cooper Kupp got his targets, but other than that, and then Tyler Higbee actually got a lot of targets as well. Gabriel Davis looked awesome. Jalen Ramsey was getting burnt by Diggs a lot. I mean, trying to remember everything from this Thursday game, obviously. But like I said, man, this game, I thought it was going to be an absolute shootout, and I thought both sides would have a really good offense. But Matthew Stafford's just turning the ball over a little too much, and maybe the elbow surgery is affecting him more than we thought it would. But Cam Akers needs to be used more. I think like Dustin said, I like Cam Akers more than Henderson in my opinion, but it sounds like we might see Henderson more. I'm not sure. I mean, McVay said something about Akers needing to like prove something. I don't understand what's going on there, but regardless, Bills looked great. Rams looked pretty bad. Jalen Ramsey getting cooked by Diggs all night. Gabriel Davis looked awesome. The Bills overall, Josh Allen, they just looked amazing. Rams, on the other hand, did not. So let's go to the 12 o'clock games.
Well, I can tell you who did look amazing. Cooper Kupp for sure.
Oh, Cooper Kupp
always
looked
looks great.
I mean, Cooper Kupp always looks great.
Yeah.
I mean,
he got his targets.
Of the Rams offensive.
Fantasy owners are happy with Cooper Kupp, that's for sure. The 12 o'clock games. I want to start with my favorite team, the Washington Commanders. I think Jared and I both picked Commanders.
Yeah,
Dustin picked the Jaguars.
I picked Jags. So
You take that freaking L, boy. You take that. I wish you were across from me right now because I would love to just stare at you in the face. But instead, I just got to listen to you over a phone call. But no, the Commanders versus Jaguars was a crazy experience. To be honest with you, I said that I wouldn't be surprised if the Jags beat us. And honestly, plenty of times the Jags kind of wasted away opportunities. There was plenty of opportunities for them to score. They did not convert on a couple fourth downs. Travis Etienne dropped a pass that would have led to the end zone. A whole different thing, or a whole lot of things happened in that game, but Carson Wentz. I went through the whole Carson Wentz experience. When we trade for Carson Wentz, I know the hate he gets and what you get with him, but man, oh man, was this a roller coaster ride. I was watching the game with Jared, and he saw my emotions go up and down all night. Carson Wentz throws 2 touchdowns. First half, we look absolutely incredible. Everything is amazing. I'm like, damn, this offense is going to be awesome. Second half comes. Carson Wentz throws 2 interceptions. I will say one of them, Trayvon Walker, made a fantastic play. Like, literally just an insane play. The instincts on that play were awesome. And then the first interception before that Walker interception was just a bad throw. He threw it late. But then he rallies the troops in the fourth quarter. It would have been easy for Wentz to just roll over and die. But instead, he bounces back, throws 4 touchdowns overall on the day. And my Commanders' offense looked amazing. Defense still looked a little funky, but Just from what you saw, Jared, I know we were watching the Ravens game as well. What
Yeah.
did you think about the overall experience of Wentz? Maybe.
Now, see, I had obviously the Commanders winning. I did not think that the game should be as close as it was, but it is Carson Wentz's first time playing with Washington. New system, whatever. But I really like the way Curtis Samuel was playing. That was one of my big takeaways from that. Obviously, last year he was hurt with the groin injury, and he came back and he showed a lot out on that field. And I think that takes a lot off Terry McLaurin too, because last year he was
he
was doubled damn near every play.
Yeah, I mean, there was literally no other threat than Terry McLaurin, so it's so easy to just focus on him. Now that you have Jahan Dotson and Curtis Samuel and
then Logan Thomas, I like him a lot too.
Antonio Gibson looked incredible. He had like 7 receptions. So overall, just Wentz, I think, has a really good offense around him. So this is the year for him to succeed, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Washington.
Yeah, I even though I disrespected the Commanders and said that the Jags were going to win, I do like the fact that not only did Carson Wentz like perform pretty well with the offense, I like that he like diversified it too and was actually using like every receiver and like using every target like to the best of their ability. Like when I was watching I wasn't watching the game, but when I was like just like watching the score and stuff, I kept on seeing like how many touchdowns, like when Curtis Samuel got used and then Dotson, I was just really impressed that he was using all the weapons to like score touchdowns, and like I can't wait to see what Carson Wentz can do with this offense going
He even
forward.
got Gibson in the passing game too.
No, yeah,
you remember that catch he caught?
Yeah,
It was
Gibson.
nasty.
Bro, he was a wide receiver in college, so like there was a lot of crap talking about Gibson, obviously his fumbling problems, but he played great. He bounced back. He played great. Brian Robinson, obviously being hurt helps that out a lot because Brian Robinson was going to take his job. But I think Gibson was still going to be used regardless because I think Ron Rivera does like him a lot. But I'm excited, man. I love that the Commanders got their win. Jaguars, on the other hand, Travis Etienne, James Robinson, all looked really good. Trevor Lawrence, we'll see. I mean, he looked pretty good for the most part. He did throw a boneheaded play at the very end, which led to the interception at the end for the Commanders to secure the game. But Falcons versus Saints.
This one was a bit surprising.
This was surprising because we all picked the New Orleans Saints to win this one. And then I'm looking at the scores across on Sunday, and then the Falcons are up double digits. But surprise, surprise, the Falcons as an organization blow leads all the time. Whether it's Matt Ryan or not, they blow this lead, and the Saints come back and win. Slant man, Michael Thomas looked great. Jameis Winston got Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, he looked great too.
So, I mean, we all said the Saints would win, but I didn't expect the Falcons to put up a fight like they did. And Arthur Smith also had a lot. I saw his press conference where he was like, you guys wrote us off and you continue to write us off. I mean, you're blowing big leads like that. You're going to be written off. So, biggest takeaways from this game.
That, like, with Matt Ryan gone, that like maybe the whole Falcons organization would be a little bit different because like obviously like
the curse is still there.
Matt Ryan just passed the curse to Mariota.
The curse is still very much there.
Yeah, they passed the curse to Mariota and they blew a huge lead.
But AJ Terrell apparently has never like allowed a touchdown last year at all, and he allowed 2 to Michael Thomas. But seems like Michael Thomas is back, man. So I feel like an idiot because I actually traded Michael Thomas in fantasy.
I told him that was a huge L.
And so it is what it is.
It's not even the fact that he traded Michael Thomas.
Let's not talk about who I traded
for Davian Harris. He traded Michael Thomas for Davian Harris.
I'll take my L for sure. But the Falcons didn't get Kyle Pitts involved enough, and Cordell Patterson still looked amazing. Mariota, on the other hand, I didn't get to watch this game like crazy, so I don't really have a comment about how Mariota played. But all I know is I saw the Falcons blew a big lead, and that's all I can really take away from it. Browns versus.
Me as well.
What's that?
I said me as well. I didn't get to watch the game or anything. So.
Well, I had Drake London on fantasy.
Oh, Drake London.
He got about 70 yards, which ain't bad. His rookie year. So.
Browns versus Panthers. Cleveland Browns come out there and they end up beating Baker Mayfield and the Panthers. I saw Baker Mayfield sail a very high pass. I think all of us. Wait, I don't know. Who did you have last week?
I had the Panthers, but being in AFC North and with Baker Mayfield starting a quarterback, I should have never had them winning.
I think I said the Panthers too, if I'm not mistaken.
I also had Panthers.
I think we all chose
did.
Panthers because we all thought Baker Mayfield was going to come out and get his revenge. And the game was close, but the Browns win on a game-winning field goal. And did you also see the logo they're going to have in the middle of the field?
Yeah, it's like that.
Did you see that, Dustin?
I forgot what it's even called.
Did you see their little mascot they're going to have in the midfield now, their new logo? Dustin?
I don't even know what you guys are talking about, honestly.
Okay, so the Browns released a new logo to have in their midfield instead of just a regular helmet. It's like a mascot, and it's kind of funky looking.
Yeah,
but.
and people already hate the Browns, so that's just more fuel to the fire for them to even hate anymore. Because I seen all the comments on
You'll have to look at it, Dustin.
Yeah.
You'll have to look at it.
I seen the comments on that post, and nobody seemed to like it at all.
But Robbie Anderson looked good.
I just looked it up. What is that? That's on the middle of their field right now.
No, that's what it's going to change to next week. Amari Cooper, Jacoby Brissett. I mean, they look decent. And then we had Robbie Anderson have a really good game as well. DJ Moore needs to get involved. Christian McCaffrey, they didn't use him enough, I think, but maybe they're trying to save him and not injure him as much as he has been in the past. So I guess I can kind of understand that. But anything else you guys want to add to this game?
I do want to speak on Amari real quick. His stats might not show for what had happened in that game. There was 2 plays though that one ball was underthrown and then one was thrown into the end zone. And if he would have both caught those, his stats would have been looking nice. So Amari is still that guy, in my opinion. And I have him on fantasy, so I have to say that.
and I know Dak Prescott's missing.
Talking about DJ Moore too, it kind of made me upset because like the main thing about it too is that Robbie Anderson literally kind of disrespected Baker Mayfield, So I thought they were gonna have like an off connection, like going into the season. And the fact that DJ Moore really didn't go like crazy off. I'm not saying that like he needs to go off crazy every game. Like I know that they have other nice weapons and stuff, but I just thought DJ Moore was gonna be like their number 1 by far, and he was gonna go off like every week.
Yeah, no, for sure. And Amari Cooper was obviously missed by the Dallas Cowboys this Sunday as well. We saw Sunday night.
Oh, yes, definitely.
49ers versus Bears. All right, boys, let's overreact. Trey Lance needs to be benched. Jimmy Garoppolo needs to be the starter, which some people are already saying. Which
agree.
You agree with that?
I don't know.
If the game was, I
It's
don't know.
week
It's week 1. The weather conditions at the stadium wasn't all
exactly
that
what I was
good
going to
as well.
say.
So, I mean, I can't really hate on Trey Lance yet, but at the same time, like, Jimmy G probably could have got it done if he went to the Bears.
They were playing football in a
All
pool.
right, I was saying like the people are already saying that Jimmy G should be starting over Trey Lance. That should have never even happened. So that's what people are already saying because Trey Lance didn't have the greatest game. But like I said, it was like a monsoon out there. So I don't really know if you can really grade anything off that game. Deebo Samuel was running the ball. Elijah Mitchell went down with an injury. He's gonna be out 8 weeks. So Jared did have him on fantasy.
Yeah, that hurt a lot. I took him in round 3. I passed on Pittman for him. Man, that hurts.
We all make dumb decisions in fantasy. I mean, we've all had one. So, but other takeaways from this game for you, Dustin? Anything you want to add to this one?
Besides, honestly, I'm hoping Justin Fields can maybe become something. I want to see them utilize Darnell Mooney a little bit more. I know that the weather conditions also didn't help that, so I just want to see what Justin Fields and like Darnell Mooney can do. That photo with them at the very end after the win in the rain, I did like that photo. I thought
he was sliding
super
in the rain.
dope.
They need to frame that and put that on the wall somewhere.
Yeah,
that
was a dope photo.
That was pretty dope. I love that. I love that too. But yeah, there's really not much you can say about this game because like I said, the rain was just like affecting that game like crazy. So I don't think you can really grade anyone just yet. Fields and the Bears getting a W. I'm pretty sure we all chose the 49ers.
Yeah,
right?
we did. But I'm happy for Fields. That's a good W for him.
Oh, for sure. To go out there and get a win.
Another thing too that I forgot to bring up is that with it raining, I thought that David Montgomery was going to have a way bigger game than what he was going to have.
Well, the Bears utilized Khalil Herbert a lot too. So
on the run.
It looks like they're going to run Khalil Herbert and Dave Montgomery a lot together. So it's going to be a committee type thing. So I think that's what I think Khalil Herbert got one of the touchdowns from Montgomery. So that probably had a lot to do with it. I watched the highlights of this one because I didn't get to really sit down and watch the game very much. But I know Trey Lance had a bad interception, and then the Bears go on and win, and they get to play the Packers next week. So that should be a fun one. We'll talk about that tomorrow. This one we have to, oh my goodness, this game was probably the craziest game of this Sunday. Steelers versus Bengals. Joe Burrow's first pass throws a pick 6 to Minkah Fitzpatrick. Burrow turns the ball over 4 times through the interceptions, and I think, did he fumble as well or something like that? Joe Burrow had a very, very bad game. And the Steelers lost TJ Watt. Najee Harris went down as well, but it sounds like he'll be fine. I saw TJ Watt will be back sometime this season, which that's a good sign as well. The Steelers ultimately walk away with the W, but it shouldn't have been as close as it was based off how they dominated the Bengals throughout like the whole game off the turnovers and stuff.
Yeah, well, Joe had 4 interceptions.
Yeah,
and a fumble loss, which was terrible for a guy like him. We didn't expect that to happen at all. But like I said last week, it is rivalry. Anything can happen in these games. And the Steelers did come out with the W because Cincinnati's kicker sucks ass.
There so many missed field goals in this one as well. Chris Boswell was missing them. I'm surprised we got a winner in this one, to be honest with you. There's a lot of missed kicks. A lot of missed kicks, actually, throughout week 1. But, Dustin, for you, I want you to go off about Joe Burrow.
I watched this whole game, and I will say for all the the pieces they picked up for to try to help the offensive line in my opinion did not look good. TJ Watt was absolutely destroying that line. He was in Joe Burrow's face, or every time Joe Mixon was getting the ball a few times, TJ Watt was on him instantly. It didn't even stand a chance. That O-line cannot hold up against TJ Watt. So I'm kind of scared to see how the Bengals O-line keeps on performing. We'll see if they can hopefully start performing better, but they were getting ate up by TJ Watt.
And one thing I gotta say is don't ever compare McPherson to Justin Tucker ever again. I've seen a lot of those tweets that they try to compare, and you just can't do it.
Yeah, you can't do it. But man,
you can't compare him against the best kicker in the league. Come on,
ever.
The fact that the Steelers literally didn't win this game by more was quite surprising, but Jamar Chase came out. T. Higgins also went down, so that's a lot of injuries throughout week 1. But
who did we all have? We all had Cincinnati, didn't we?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we all chose the Bengals to win for sure. I thought Cincinnati was going to come out and make a statement, build off last year. Joe Burrow looked sloppy week 1, but I feel like he'll bounce back in week 2, hopefully.
And surprisingly, with all that, all those interceptions and fumbles he had, he still got me 22 points of fantasy, which I'm not mad about.
We'll take that where we can get him. It could have been more, though.
No, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I feel like those interceptions add up. Negative points. So
when you throw 4 of them, shit.
But that's another thing, too, that Brady kind of brought it up, but the Steelers could have literally blown them out of the water, and they didn't. So, I mean, that's also the thing to look at, too, is how good is actually the Steelers' offense, because, I mean, with that many interceptions, they should have blown him out of the water.
How did Mitchell Trubisky look for you since you watched the whole game? I didn't get to watch the whole entire game.
There was a couple plays he looked good, and then there's a couple plays I was like, I don't know how I feel about him. I don't really know how besides I can't really consider Kenny Pickett's preseason into an effect because it's a different level now since it's not preseason. So
right.
I kind of want to see Kenny Pickett out there and see how he does, but
I mean,
Mitchell Trubisky
already switching up. I don't think Mike Tomlin's going to throw Kenny Pickett out there.
Performed decent. I mean, I can't disrespect him and say that Mitchell Trubisky doesn't deserve to be a starter because I mean he obviously outplayed Kenny Pickett and proved to the coaches why he should be a starter over Kenny Pickett at the moment.
Shoot, it might have just came down to experience. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And they gave him a 2-year contract, so they had to at least give him a shot, right?
Yeah.
They can't just not play him. Eagles versus Lions. This game was very high scoring. The Eagles, we knew were that team. The Lions obviously always put up a fight. So I'm not surprised that this game was high scoring. I thought it would be, to be honest with you. If you had someone in fantasy in this game, you were probably pretty happy. A.J. Brown is that guy. The Eagles were throwing the football. I mean, everything looked good overall in this game. DeAndre Swift had a really good game. The Lions cut it. I think the score is a little misleading because the Eagles were actually up 2 possessions,
and
then
up quite a bit.
And then the Lions ended up cutting it down towards the very end. But yeah, the Eagles threw the ball a lot more, and A.J. Brown looked absolutely amazing when I was seeing. So happy for the Eagles, but biggest takeaways for this game for you guys.
Was Smith injured or?
No, I just don't think he did that great.
I would say because he got
I'm
pretty sure he had zero
fantasy
fantasy
points
or something like that.
I don't know what happened there.
Well, my takeaway is that A.J. Brown is healthy. When A.J. Brown is healthy, top 5 receiver, maybe top 10. Because I know last year everybody was down. Well, he ain't good. What'd you say?
Don't say top 5.
Okay, I'll give him top 8.
I love A.J. Brown.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
I do love A.J. Brown.
I like him
it's
too.
hard for me to say that because he destroyed us when we played Tennessee, but we still won that game. But like I said last week, I had the Lions win this game. They were kind of skeptical on me saying that, but like I said before, Lions are my sleeper team. They did great last year. Not great, but the fact that they were only losing games by less than, I think it was 10 points. So it's not like I said, they were not getting blown out or anything. So for them keeping up with the Eagles is not surprising. But like I said, Brady said the score is misleading. But, like I said, Lions are definitely that team to watch out for.
Oh, for sure. And we get to play them next week. And that's going to be another high-scoring game, in my opinion. So the Lions are going to be a fun team to watch every week. And I can't wait to watch them next week, honestly. Jared Goff is going to do his job this year and then probably get replaced in the offseason, I assume, via the draft potentially. But like I said, A.J. Brown, Miles Sanders scored for the first time in so long. Jared had Miles Sanders on his bench.
Yeah, I did.
And
he got about 18 points, too. I did not expect him to get his first touchdown.
I had DeAndre Swift on fantasy, so I was pretty happy. Even though I did lose regardless. But still, I'm happy to see Swift perform. He had a lot of yardage, and then Jamal Williams had a good game as well for the Lions. So fantasy-wise, Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift look fun for the Lions. A.J. Brown, obviously, if you have him, you're super happy. I actually played A.J. Brown this week, so yeah. I know all about that. But Colts versus Texans. This game was quite surprising to me, I would say. I did not expect this to be as close as it did. Davis Mills looked good, though. He did. And I'm excited for the Texans this year. And then the Colts, on the other hand, Matt Ryan made some interesting throws, but he also made some good ones. And it was like 20-3 in the fourth quarter, and then the Colts cut it down and obviously tied it up. So overall, I'm very surprised to see this game end in a tie. And this was another game where, kicks were missed. Rodrigo Blankenship, Lego GOAT, by the way. If you don't understand the joke, I'm sorry. But they cut him. So the Colts are not messing around. They do not want to lose or not tie to the team like the Texans. They need to be a good team this year. They blamed everything on Carson Wentz, and now they come out and tie to the Texans. It's not a good look to start, but it's not. I mean, we could overreact, but overall takeaways for this one for you boys.
Dustin?
That the Colts underperformed. I'm not saying that the Texans are like a complete terrible team, but with the pieces that you have around it, it's like the same thing I would say about last year with the Colts is like it's such a good roster to be underperforming that there's no way you go and get a tie with the Texans. Like, it's not like maybe you can consider a little bit better than a loss, but at the same time, there's not a point where you should be 20 down 17 points against the Texans.
Yeah, you just can't tie with this team.
Yeah, I don't got much to say. It's just the fact that the Colts just underperform. I was never high on them to begin with, but when you're tied with the Texans, that's pretty bad.
Davis Mills, like I said, had some really good throws. And at one point in the game in the fourth quarter, Lovie Smith, it was 4th and 2 at the 50, and there was a little bit of time left. He decides to punt and play for the tie instead of going for the win. But I guess I can kind of understand because if you turn it over at the 50, you give the Colts, field goal range, and then you could lose the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. If you're in that position, it's 4th and 2 with 40. I can't remember exactly how much time left, but it was very, very low time left on the clock. Do you go for it, or do you just punt them and go for the tie, I guess, at that point? A lot of people didn't like that decision by Lovie Smith, I would say.
I mean, a tie is better than a loss. So,
but do you believe in your team to go for it on that 4th and 2?
I still would have went for it. I mean, I'm going for the win every time.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. I mean, like I said, not much to say. Cooks looked awesome. Michael Pittman had a great game as well. I played him in fantasy as well. So I played by the way, someone in our league, Kyle, got the 3 of the best wide receivers in the draft. I have no idea how he allowed this to happen. This man had Pittman, he had A.J. Brown, he has Devontae Adams. I have no idea how we got him, or we let him draft that kind of team. But I had to play all 3 of them this week. So it was really, really unfortunate. Patriots versus Dolphins. Biggest takeaway from this game for me. And we all chose Colts, by the way. I'm pretty sure that was pretty easy.
Yeah.
I mean, we all chose Colts. Yeah. It ties, so... Patriots versus Dolphins. I almost chose the Patriots. I'm glad I didn't. The Dolphins win this one. Mike McDaniel goes for it on 4th and 7. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill were all involved. Chase Edmonds was involved. The Patriots did not look very good. Mac Jones also got hurt in this one. But honestly,
back spasm or something like that.
Yeah, not a lot to say about this one other than the Patriots really didn't look good, and the Dolphins, their head coach has some balls. So just like Lovie Smith doesn't go for it, and then we'll talk about Nathaniel Hackett later on from last night. Mike McDaniel, on the other hand, has balls, and he's going to go for it on 4th and 7 from the 50-yard line. So I can respect that. But Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill looked awesome for the Dolphins, and Tua obviously had a very interesting throw that people are making fun of on Twitter. But other than that, I mean, it was an overall decent game for the Dolphins.
Yeah, I guess my takeaway from it is from what preseason, or not necessarily preseason, but just the offseason going into this season of how Mac Jones was looking under the new offensive scheme and all that. I just said he wasn't looking good. So I wasn't very high on them this year. The fact that none of the running backs in Harris or Stevenson got a good run going either. And with the issue with Mac Jones, I just don't see the Patriots doing good this year, and I mean, I knew the Dolphins were probably going to win this game. So
yeah, this is one game I really personally didn't watch much. I just seen a couple throws to Waddle when he had that breakout touchdown, and then that funny throw from Tua. But the Patriots didn't look as good as I thought they'd be because obviously they went to the playoffs last year.
One-dimensional. I mean, if you can stop the run game, you're gonna put the ball in Mac Jones' hands. I think most teams are gonna be very, very okay with that. So be interested to see how long. Obviously, I don't want to overreact, but is Mac Jones gonna be the quarterback going forward? If all they can do, I mean, Bill Belichick's identity is gonna be run the football, but if it gets stopped, and they also use Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harrison like a 50-50 split. So we'll see, who eventually takes over that job, or if it's always just going to be a 50-50 split. But yeah, not much to say about that one. Also for this one, Ravens versus Jets, we ended up seeing the Ravens clobber the Jets for the most part. Joe Flacco did all he could. But Lamar, had some good throws. The Jets, on the other hand, the Ravens were just constantly getting turnovers and just not a great game for the Jets, but you kind of expected that, I would say.
As you guys can see,
go ahead, Jared. Sorry.
As you guys can see, I'm here. Last week I said I would not show up if we lost to the Jets, which I didn't sweat this game that much at all. I mean, at the beginning we were going scoreless for a while, so it did kind of have me on the edge of my seat.
That was the only thing I would say. Not to cut you off, but I feel like the Ravens offense didn't do enough.
Well, I mean, we're rusty. Lamar didn't play at all preseason,
That's true.
So him getting back in this offense, it takes a little bit of time. But, he had some great passes to Rashad Bateman and Devin Duvernay, definitely a sleeper, man. I'm glad to see him balling out. He had his 2 first touchdowns. Not his first touchdowns, but of the season. And Rashad Bateman, of course. And I wish we get Isaiah Likely involved a little more. Obviously, he's a rookie. Same with Andrews. He didn't get much action out there, but it's glad for as a Ravens fan to see our wide receivers balling because it's usually the opposite. It's our tight ends.
Exactly.
But I think Lamar played great, and we got that W.
No, that's the thing too. It's kind of funny because I rated I just saw on Yahoo Fantasy and the transaction trends that Duvernay was starting to trend. So I picked him up because he was just sitting there, and literally right when I picked him up, this man Jared texted me and said, "Duvernay's not the guy you think he is," or something like that. something along those lines. I didn't start Duvernay. He was sitting in my bench, but my man did score 20 points on my bench. So, and that's something I'm going to have to look. I think I'm going to give it one more week against a better team before I start starting Duvernay. But I mean, Duvernay looked super good. I watched the highlights. Without Zach Wilson, you really can't judge how this game would have went. I mean, Joe Flacco is a decent quarterback, but I mean, obviously Zach Wilson's most likely better than how old Joe Flacco is.
I want to say a couple of things real quick. Last Sunday when me, Brady, and we had our buddy Ricardo over here, I told Dustin not to pick up Duvernay because I didn't want you to have him. Obviously, he's a great wide receiver, and another thing, Joe Flacco got tore up.
Oh, he did.
Dude, like I said, he's a statue when that pass rush comes in. When he sees it coming, he just holds the ball and just takes a sack. So obviously, our defensive line did great, which I love to see because we had struggled in the past with.
I remember you told Dustin that Duvernay wouldn't do shit or something like that. But hey, I mean, if he can become something for you guys, that's that's awesome. But
and real quick to cut you off, our defense looked great too with Mike McDonald out there. We didn't obviously have Wink no more because that dude loves to fucking rush like no other dude. But he looked good for the Giants though. I like that. He looked good for the Giants.
I'm excited to see what the Ravens look like against another team because I feel like you said, they came out a little rusty.
Yeah.
Which is why because it almost I just remember a time when you guys played. I believe it was like the Dolphins or Jags in week 1. And you guys just absolutely put 40 on their head.
I think it was like 59 points.
Yeah, it was a crazy. So I was kind of expecting something similar to that, but obviously it's not that big of a deal.
And the crazy thing is, you remember the Miami Dolphins game last year, right?
No.
Where we got destroyed by them. Not destroyed, but we could not play with them.
Oh yeah, I think I do remember.
We play them next week. So.
Oh, that'll be a fun one.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited for that one. Giants.
That's gonna be a good game.
Giants versus Titans. I'm surprised to see the Titans lose this one, but I believe we all chose the Titans, I'm pretty sure. But I will say, to give myself a little bit of credit, I said I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants found a way to slow down Derrick Henry and win this game somehow, and they did. So shout out to the New York Giants. Every team in the NFC East won, by the way, besides the Dallas Cowboys, which we'll get to them soon. But the Giants go for it on a 2-point conversion to take the lead. Brian Dable with the big balls goes for it. Saquon had an amazing game.
Oh, yeah.
And the Giants end up beating the Tennessee Titans. What is your ultimate takeaway from the Titans side of things and the Giants? I feel like this is a huge win for the Giants. This is the first time I believe they've started 1-0 in a while.
Seasons,
so this is a good sign for Giants fans.
Now, my takeaway is, personally, I don't think the Titans use their wide receivers enough. Because obviously they're a run team. They have Derrick Henry. When they stopped that run, forced Tannehill to throw the ball, it didn't look too great. I think the 2 touchdowns came from their running back.
Yeah, Robert Woods wasn't used enough. He had 2 targets.
Not at all.
So it's just like Allen Robinson, where you need to get.
I guess my takeaway would be that I don't know, dude. Malik Willis needs to start instantly. I'm sorry.
That's an overreaction.
I don't know what is going on, but if Malik Willis doesn't start soon, I might lose my mind.
You're gonna overreact and say Tannehill needs to be benched already?
Yeah, I'm overreact. This is Dustin's overreaction Tuesday, and I'm saying start Malik Willis, please. I mean, if you guys ain't gonna be good, might as well start getting the rookie some game experience under his belt.
Did Kenny Galladay do much in this game?
No, he didn't. He had 4 fantasy points, dude.
I didn't know.
But I'm not surprised at all.
I know Saquon dominated fantasy.
Did great.
He did amazing, which is cool to see him healthy because obviously he struggled with health. So if Saquon can have a good season all year, I'm here for it because I love Saquon. Even if I don't like the Giants very much because they're my division, I do love Saquon. So let's move on to the Chiefs versus Cardinals. This game was particularly not close at all. The Cardinals looked bad. I didn't watch this game at all, I'm going to be honest with you, but all I really saw is, the Chiefs got 500 yards or whatever. Mahomes throws 5 touchdowns. Like, the Chiefs are just, their offense is so damn good. But, Dustin, you need to talk about the Chiefs because we need to hear from you. After week 1, are you still sitting on the fact that the Chiefs still do not run this division? Because, obviously they looked great Sunday.
Hold on. Didn't you have them ranked 3rd? Did you have them ranked 3rd?
Yeah, he had them ranked 3rd in this division. And he said that the Chiefs don't run this division.
I didn't think that their offense was going to be terrible. My main complaint with them was that the defense is the issue. But, obviously the defense shut down the Cardinals. One thing I will say, though, about it is I've been telling Brady and them all season, I'm not high on the Cardinals. I don't think they're as good as people think. So, I want to see how the Chiefs play this week before I make my final decision on how they are going to be. They're playing against a team and the Chargers that I think is the best team in the AFC West, so I don't want to exactly say my opinion on the Chiefs yet until next week, or until Thursday, I guess.
My opinion is the Chiefs are the Chiefs, bro. When Mahomes has the ball, anything can happen. I don't care who's at the receiving core, who's the tight end. Don't matter. Mahomes is Mahomes. And the thing with the Cardinals, they're also missing 2 weapons. Obviously, Hopkins and Rondale Moore being out.
Rondale Moore was out as well.
But
so
to me, I still think they still have enough people out there to make the job or get the job done, but obviously that did not happen. They got clobbered by the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Cardinals.
That's the thing too about like I get that they're missing important pieces, but like against like a Chiefs defense that is usually pretty weak, and you have like a quarterback that can run like Kyler Murray, I just don't get how like you guys can't make it at least somewhat of a closer game. I didn't expect them to win by any stretch against that team, but like I thought it'd be a lot closer than what it was, I guess.
I thought it would be too, honestly.
And Hollywood left Baltimore for 43 yards, it looks like. Wow.
I think you're going to be watching that all year.
No, I'm kidding.
No, Jared's going to be on Marquise Brown all year because Marquise Brown left because he wanted more opportunity.
Yeah, he said he wanted more targets, which that didn't make sense. He had 1,000 yards with us last year.
So,
he says he wants more targets. Like, yeah, he might get him now, but once Hopkins comes back, like, he's not the number 1.
All right, Dustin, let's, since we talk about the Chiefs, let's go to the other AFC West teams. We got Chargers versus Raiders. I'm just going to give the floor to you. What do you want to say about this game?
Okay, so my first thing I got to say, Carr played terrible. One thing that made me super mad about this game that I just want to bring up about Josh McDaniels, though, real quick, is there was 35 seconds left in the second quarter, okay? We still had 3 timeouts. They were up 17-3, okay? Josh McDaniels does not go for it, dude. We have 3 timeouts, 35 seconds left, and they just kneel it and go into halftime. Like, that made me so mad. It made me seem like that Josh McDaniels doesn't have faith in Derek Carr. Like, how are you going to have 3 timeouts, 35 seconds left with that offense that we have, and you're just going to let it go into halftime and not try to put up any points, especially when you have a kicker like Daniel Carlson, who can kick from a pretty good amount. Like, all you have to do is get it to, like, the 40 or 30 yard line on their side, and like Daniel Carlson can knock that in. Like, that's what made me mad, is that we just didn't try to put points on the board when we could have.
I think they lost faith after Derek Carr's 30th interception.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Kidding.
Listen, and that's another thing I'm gonna talk about too, though. Yes, Keenan Allen got injured, so like it wasn't like the Chargers' full offense running at us all game. But the fact, like, our defense did look surprisingly well for like the circumstances, I guess. Like, with how Derek Carr was playing and like the interceptions and stuff, like the fact that our defense was kind of holding him back and doing their thing, it kind of made me impressed with that. And like, that's one thing I've taken from this game, is that like I think the defense is actually solid. It just now we gotta wait and see how Derek Carr comes back next week and gets to it. But yeah, the Chargers look great. We only lost by 4 against a team that should have won by way more, since we had 3 interceptions. But
it was fun.
It was a good game. The Chargers played well, but Mike Williams. Oh, one thing I want to take about the Chargers side: Mike Williams was underperformed. Like, and like,
bad.
Especially with Keenan Allen going out early in the first. Like, I don't know, or it was either early in the first or early in the second. My bad. I don't know exactly, but. Like, the fact that Mike Williams only had like 4 fantasy points, like didn't really get many targets, kind of surprises me.
No,
in that sense.
I can't throw all the shade at the Raiders. Clearly, I'm not really a Raiders hater. It's just giving Dustin a hard time. But they did put up a good fight, despite Derek Carr's, performance. They only lost, Dustin said, 4 or 5 points, which is not bad against damn near one of the best teams in the AFC, maybe the NFL. So
we'll get to see Thursday, so that's gonna be a fun game. But Devontae Adams was still getting fed all game, and he got his damn targets. We were wondering whether or not Adams would, continue to be as dominant as he has been since he's moved on from Rodgers to Carr. And that has been answered at least week 1. Adams got a lot of targets. And again, I faced him in fantasy. I faced 3 of the best wide receivers probably in the league in fantasy.
And can I just say something? Like, another thing, too. I think Carr, I get that Devontae Adams is literally the best offensive weapon we have on that team. But I feel like Carr was targeting him a little bit too much and wasn't like going through all the reads because he's just like, oh, I got Devontae Adams on my team. Mm-hmm. And Carr called himself out on that as well, basically saying like, I wasn't going through all my reads and I was just forcing plays and stuff like that after we lost. So I'm hoping that's a big thing, that he actually starts taking the time to look for the best read. And like, he kept on going for like the deep balls and like the crazy plays. Like when he could have been like hitting under routes to like Hunter Renfrow a lot more and like just getting the first downs, moving the ball down the field, So hopefully that changes. Devontae Adams did look amazing though. He looked great in the silver and black, and I can't wait to see how he keeps on doing it in that. And he cooked Asante Samuel so bad. Isn't that his name? He cooked him bad.
Now, I do want to say one thing. I hope that does not become a problem between Adams and Carr, because obviously they played in college together. Was that right?
Yeah, Fresno.
Yeah.
And I hope that doesn't become a problem to where he feels like he has to force him because they're friends and they're closer than, maybe some other
because there's a lot of
team.
weapons that he can throw to. So he doesn't need to force it, feed
and like, that's
Devontae.
the thing, too, with it.
Unlike Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, who never had weapons around, other than Adams.
And we seen what happened. Huh?
Yeah, well, we're talking about them next. So
Brady brought up exactly the point I was going to bring up. It's just like the fact that like it's different with the Packers because they don't have many offensive weapons. But when you have like Hunter Renfrow and Waller and Mac Hollins has even looked pretty solid, our third too. Like I just don't get how you just like. I get that Devontae Adams is the number 1 piece, but you just gotta spread the ball more. When you have an offense like this, man, with a bunch of dogs, you gotta spread the ball out.
Well, I chose the Chargers. I think Jared did as well, and Dustin was probably team.
Actually, no, I had the Raiders.
You did choose the Raiders? Okay, so I was the only one that chose the Chargers, I guess. So I got to keep a tally on our records for that. But since we were kind of talking about them, this has got to be the biggest overreaction of the week. The Packers. What do we do with the Green Bay Packers? They come out and they get whopped against the Vikings. First play of the game for Green Bay. Christian Watson wide open. He drops it. And I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers, MMG, and I couldn't agree more with him saying this. But basically, it seemed like Watson knew he was going to drop it before he even got to him, because I honestly kind of thought the same thing. But his reaction after he dropped the pass, like he just instantly knew he was going to drop it before he even got to him. Like he reacted to it so quickly. And I couldn't agree more, because when the pass first went off, I was like, why do I feel like he's about to drop it? And he did, because there was always a huge problem. It looks like he lacks confidence. I mean, that's a pass you have to catch if you're Christian Watson. You got to make an impact right away. You're wide open. The Vikings just scored, I believe, before that, and the Packers can get a touchdown. And I think after that, that just threw the whole rhythm out for Green Bay, and they just looked bad. But they looked bad in week 1 last year. So how bad do we want to overreact to this is my question.
Well, I'm not going to compare them to last year at all, because they lost their best weapon. And obviously the Vikings are their rival, but the Vikings played great, in my opinion. Justin Jefferson, yeah, dude, I have him in fantasy. And this is my first time legitimately sitting down and watching him play. This guy is really him.
He is amazing.
He had about 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, I think it was.
The Packers couldn't find him.
No.
He was literally, every time he got, caught a pass, it seemed like no one was around him.
Yeah, and I did see a report saying Jair said to be put on him, but Jair, I think, was only on him like a couple reps.
Yeah, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't at all. I'd put my best corner on their best receiver.
You have to guard Jay Jetta for sure. Yeah. There's no way you don't. Biggest takeaway, what do you think about the Packers, Dustin? Is it time to overreact? Is this wide receiver core going to ever be able to get it done for Aaron Rodgers?
I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like the only offensive weapon besides the running backs that Aaron Rodgers has trust in is I guess you could say he probably has trust in Cobb a little bit, and then because he's been with him for so long, and
probably a little bit
Robert
too.
Tonyan is the 2 people you probably think he has trust in. But the fact that Christian Watson dropped that pass at the very beginning, it kind of just ruined Aaron Rodgers' trust in him. And you could just tell, because I was watching that game as well when it was going on, and you could just tell that they did not seem confident. Rodgers did not trust anybody on that team after that happened besides the running back. So, but I will say about on the Vikings side, Kirk Cousins honestly did look amazing. That offense was going on all cylinders. The Packers defense, everyone thought, has gotten better. The Packers couldn't stop anything. Justin Jefferson was open all day. Dalvin Cook was running all over them as well. Like, I just don't see how, like, you invest that much into the defense and then you're just leaving their best stars, like, just going, like, Justin Jefferson was open so much. Like, I mean, it's not like he was just open and, like, the corner's, like, right on him. He's, like, open and no one's on him, like, near him. Like, how are you not on the best player on the field?
Turning to Jared, I was like, how was Justin Jefferson that wide open?
Yards after catch was crazy with him.
Oh, for sure. I mean, for me, I feel like we gotta wait. I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh my goodness, the Packers are done for. They suck." I mean, some people are already willing to write them off. They looked bad week 1 last year. Obviously, it's different because no Devontae Adams this year to kind of bounce back with. But maybe Watson and maybe Randall Cobb, Sammy Watkins can all bounce back. It's just crazy to see the amount of weapons that Rodgers has had lately in the past few years. It's only literally been Adams and literally just like nothing else, man. So Packers need to find a way to get him some more weapons. It's just they need to invest around him, in my opinion.
Dillon looked good, though.
Oh, A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones definitely.
Running backs look great.
They're always going to be very, very good for Rodgers, and they're going to be using the pass game quite a lot as well. Both of them will be. I mean, Aaron Jones probably a little bit more, but still.
But you could just see the frustration on Rodgers' face after,
for sure.
Just what was happening with him, man. He looked just tired of it.
But next Sunday, I think it's on Sunday Night Football as well, which we'll talk about it tomorrow. They get the Bears at Lambeau, so
hopefully a team he can just beat up on.
I'm kidding.
Kidding. And one thing I want to talk about too is like it kind of made me. It didn't make me mad because obviously I'm not a Green Bay fan, so I really didn't care. And like obviously they kept on talking about Devon. Like they literally the commentators and stuff kept on bringing up how many yards Davante Adams had to like the whole offense. At one point, the whole offense had like 108 yards or something. And Davante Adams alone had like 116 yards. And they put it up on screen like Packers whole offense, and then they put like Davante Adams. Like they just kept on bringing up Davante Adams. Like I don't know, man. It was crazy for me to see. Like they just kept on bringing it up over and over and over again.
Justin Jefferson?
No, he was talking about. No, he was like saying how they were comparing. Well, I guess you could say. Well, you could say the same thing for both. Jefferson had a really good game. You could compare Jefferson to the Packers' yardage, and then you could compare Adams as well. But I think
they did keep pulling up Justin Jefferson's yards compared to the total offense of the Packers.
I saw him pull up Davante Adams a couple of times.
Okay,
like, at least
you could literally make a case for both of them.
No, I wasn't mixing them up. I literally saw it I literally saw it when I was like, obviously I was watching the Raiders game as it was going on, but like I looked down at my phone for a second because that's why I was watching the Packers and Vikings game, and it was literally like Davante Adams total yards and then the Packers total offensive yards. But that was at the time. I don't remember what quarter it was or exactly, but I just saw that for a second. I was like, dude, why do they keep on bringing up Davante Adams?
But I'm not willing to push the panic button yet on the Packers. Maybe if they find a way to lose to the Bears next week, I'm literally smashing the panic button. Buccaneers versus Cowboys. This game lived up to the hype last year. It was an amazing opening Thursday night game. I remember watching it last year. This time around, it was probably the most boring game of the week, I would say. Obviously, no offense to Cowboys fans. Well, some offense to you guys because some of you guys annoy me, but some of you are actually pretty cool. So for the people that I say no offense to, it was actually kind of fun watching you guys' demise. I'm not going to sit here and lie because they're a division rival, and I just, again, I don't like the Cowboys very much. But it sucks to see Dak Prescott get hurt the way he did, and it sounds like first we heard he'll be out 6 to 8 weeks. And then now Jerry Jones is saying that he could maybe play within like the next 4 weeks, so that's a interesting timeline. We don't really know. But before that, Dak looked awful. The Cowboys offense looked awful. They're obviously missing Michael Gallup. They traded Amari Cooper away. It was very apparent there was no threat outside of CeeDee Lamb, and there was just literally nothing the Cowboys could do. They did have some success running the football, but I feel like the Cowboys just always get pass happy, and that's how they're always going to be. It just never changes with them. Even with Jason Garrett, they always got super pass happy, and things just didn't go their way. But with that going down, and obviously CeeDee Lamb being the only guy out there, Gallup could return soon. We'll see what Cooper Rush can do. If he can keep them afloat and Dak returns, I'm not totally writing off the Cowboys just yet. They're still super talented, but they need Gallup back bad.
Oh yeah, see that really shocked me yesterday. I keep saying yesterday, Sunday was with CeeDee. The first half he had 1 catch for 16 yards. He was just out there. He just looked like I don't even know what was going on. You know what I mean?
The Bucs were just clamping him up, man.
Yeah.
It's like the only guy you really have to be scared of on that team right now.
I mean, they got Schultz, but it's definitely nowhere near CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, Zeke and Pollard, but yeah, like I said, Amari Cooper obviously probably would have made a huge difference.
Oh yeah,
that
for sure.
If they still had him, he would have definitely drew some attention as well. But when you only have CeeDee Lamb, it was very easy for the Bucs to defend him. I feel like, and the Buccaneers played great. Tom Brady and the Bucs didn't look great on offense. They just kept kicking a bunch of field goals, and they were not finishing in the red zone. But again, they didn't really have to. The Cowboys were not putting much of a fight on offense. So, Dustin, for you, what did you think about this game?
I kind of expected it with all the weapons gone. And I mean, yes, I did forget because I did say something in our fantasy group chat. I was like, the Cowboys O-line is kind of damaged. Like the Bucs are going to like just destroy it. But then like I forgot that the Bucs O-line is pretty damaged as well. But the Bucs defense was actually just getting past the line and just getting in their face. So I mean, I expected the Bucs to win, and I feel bad for you Cowboys fans. I mean, I really don't feel that bad because Cowboys fans are usually annoying. But it sucks that Dak Prescott's out, and hopefully Cooper Rush can maybe keep you guys afloat. If he doesn't, then I would just say why rush Dak Prescott back.
Yeah, at that point, I mean, it just kind of depends on Dak's timeline.
Calling her season end short or what?
No, I'm not ready to. I'm not ready to say the Cowboys season is over.
Well, if Cooper Rush ain't doing nothing, who the hell do they got?
I mean, Cooper Rush is actually not bad. When he has played, he's
pretty
sure he started.
I think he had a great 64 yards.
No, I think he started last year.
If they don't get pass happy, they just run Zeke and Tony Pollard. I mean, they can carry your team.
There was one game he started
like
and he won
yards
for them. I can't remember which game it was against, but I think it was against. Never mind. I can't remember exactly who it was, but I know Cooper Rush has started for them in the past, and he's looked decent.
Detroit Lions?
I want to say it was the Vikings, but I think I'm definitely thinking of that wrong. It might be a different team I'm thinking of, but I don't want to just fully be committed to what I'm saying right now. But I know Cooper Rush is someone Cowboys do like, so we'll see. I'm not ready to say their season is over. I'm not going to sit here and say that because it's only week 1. It just depends. But right now, it's not looking good for them. I will say that. Final game of the week. This one pissed me off. I'm not going to lie. Monday Night Football. Actually, there were some fun things about it. But the very end pissed me off, man. Nathaniel Hackett just makes no sense. Everyone pointed it out, but it was my first thought as well. I want to start with the end of the game, even though we shouldn't. We'll backpedal. But I have to say this right out of the gate. You traded for Russell Wilson. You gave up all these draft picks, which I'm saying this because I wanted Washington to get Russell Wilson, by the way. Like, very badly wanted that to happen when it first was going down that Russell Wilson might get traded. They go out and get Russell Wilson, acquire him, then they just gave him a fat extension. It's 4th and 5. You have all 3 timeouts. You, instead of trying to get the first down, you kick a 64-yard field goal. Makes no sense to me. Nathaniel Hackett going for it on a field goal to end this game. You got to get the ball to Russ. Give the ball to Russell Wilson to get closer. Kicking a 64-yarder makes no sense to me at all.
That's 2 yards away from the NFL record. So what makes you think you can put your kicker out there in that position, knowing that you have a quarterback like Russell Wilson behind the ball? You just pay the man, give the man the fucking ball.
Exactly.
You know
that's what I'm saying. This pissed me off. And the Broncos in general, not that I'm like a huge Broncos fan, but they fumbled twice on the goal line. It's like Russell Wilson and the goal line just can't get along, I guess. I don't understand. Javonte Williams fumbles.
Flashback from the Super Bowl.
Flashbacks, bro. Melvin Gordon fumbles on the Broncos. Everything that could go wrong went wrong for the Broncos, honestly. Like, it just was crazy how bad the Broncos shot themselves in the foot. And they still had a chance to win at the end.
And they didn't.
Then they didn't because they go for a 64-yard field goal.
Which is nuts.
Made no sense. I hated that decision, and I will stand by it. I think it was the dumbest decision Nathaniel Hackett could have made.
I cannot believe when I saw that.
Before you say anything, Dustin. And no, this was the other thing. He used his timeout. He used his timeouts at the end when it didn't even matter. Did you see that? He was kept calling timeouts when the game is over.
See, I was afraid to watch the game because my fantasy game was so close.
Bro, at the end, right? You call your timeouts to stop the clock, to get the ball back. There's I don't know, less than 40 seconds left on the clock. He has 2 timeouts left. It does not matter how many you call. The clock is going to run out. Use your timeouts earlier. It does not make any sense. But go ahead, Dustin. Sorry, I had to say that. Dustin!
But Geno Smith did.
We lost Dustin, I guess. I don't know.
Is he gone for real?
Dustin's gone. I don't know. All right, I guess we'll wrap up the show without him.
Geno Smith did look good, though. A lot of people wrote him off, and like you said, he didn't write back. So shout out to
that was
Geno
my
Smith.
favorite quote of the night. Geno Smith saying, "I didn't write back." That was awesome. I'm gonna continue to use that. By the way,
tattooed on you.
I might have to. Who knows? We might have to get that. But Geno Smith is. I mean, if we overreact, he looks great. I don't know if we're gonna say he's a franchise quarterback or anything, but he looked amazing. I will say that. So. But I guess without Dustin, I don't know where he's at.
Oh, but dude, the freaking for some reason it keeps it on like on your side. Like I'll hear you guys for a second, and then it will just cut off, and then like I hear you guys again. But I guess let me get into my overreaction real quick about this game. Geno Smith did look great. My first reaction when Melvin Gordon fumbled, I literally said it in the chat because we have a Broncos fan in our fantasy chat. I said, come on, stop. Melvin Gordon ain't it. Joe Javonte Williams out there. And then the same thing happens to Javonte Williams. So after that, I had literally nothing to say at that point. I mean, everything I was preaching about just came crashing down on me. So, but that play like Brady talked about, like 4th down, like 20 seconds left, 3 timeouts, it's kind of like the same thing I brought up about the Raiders in the second quarter, how we had 35 seconds and 3 timeouts and we didn't try to put points on the board. Like all you have to do is get into a better field goal spot. Like there's no way you're trying to kick a 64-yarder. Like if you're the Broncos, when you literally paid him like $200 million and all of that, and you have the weapons you do like Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Javonte, like no way you're not going for the first down there.
My only thing is about that is that put yourself in the coach's position. They can be like, well, if we go for this 4th and 5 or 4th and 5, whatever, they go for it, we miss it, we lose the game completely. We might have a chance to kick this field goal and make it, but still, you get the ball to Russell and you go for it.
Yeah, I mean that's just how I think.
You still don't take the cake.
But tomorrow we are going to do our week 2 predictions, so we will see you guys tomorrow. Week 1 was amazing, a lot of stuff to talk about, obviously, but tomorrow we'll see you guys for our week 2 predictions. This is In the Slant. We're saying peace.
Peace.
I do not hate any NFL team. It's all a joke.